what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Union Leipzig Career Mode series. We just got our first win of the entire series last episode, and we're looking to follow that up today with even more. Now, we actually got a rare clean sheet as well, so we've been trying to figure out our back line this entire season. I'm gonna stick with what's been working. We're going into the next game with the same exact lineup. The big question here is gonna be, how are they gonna hold up today? We're coming up against the top goal scorer in the league. The ultimate test for our defense is upon us. We start the game very much in defensive mode as we're trying to cover here, and we get by with some pretty good last-ditch defending. So far, we're holding firm. And the biggest thing that we're going to be looking to improve with our defense is just those little lapses in concentration. So far, we've kept chances to a minimum, and we're definitely looking a little more organized. And one of the things that's actually working really well for this team is how comfortable we look in possession. From the front line all the way to the back, with a center back like Lucas Schultz able to play basically like a midfielder, stepping up and playing balls forward, we are creating some good chances. As Bergman tries to run onto it, it's not quite there, but our striker has looked increasingly promising recently. But the problem we always find ourselves in is when we get into transition kind of play. Now, we have a lot of numbers back here, but the organization is just terrible, as one simple pass completely cuts our defense apart. We already find ourselves on the back foot. We saw the foreshadowing there. The league leading goal scorer finds one against us, and now 25 minutes into the game, we're already a goal down. And this is when the composure just starts to slip. We actually started kind of bright to the game, but suddenly it all starts falling apart, and there's just huge gaps left in our back line. This is going to take us a long time to not only figure out, but just sort out in terms of transfers and the system we're playing. It's clear even as we go into the second half here, it's just, there's so much organizational work to be done. Union needs a lot of help, but again, we're a new team, and we're actually playing one of the better teams in the division, and so far, looking okay, and here we have a chance on the counterattack. It's Bergman running clean through on goal, and suddenly, we could be level, but he can't quite finish. Well, those are the moments you have to be clinical, and we put Bergman up there to score goals. Unfortunately, he's failed again. But we're still showing some signs of being in this game. I mean, it's far from over. We're only a goal down, and we're still creating a couple of good chances here. Soko plays another ball over the top. It's Simon Wolf with a chest down and a hit that's inches wide. Again, disappointing from our attacking midfielder, but he came very close there. And you know, the longer this game goes on, the better we've been looking. We're actually really still in this game, and although time is running out, we're getting more and more opportunities as time goes on here, and there's Bergman running in behind again, but he can't finish. Disappointing from the striker, and still no goal for Union. And unfortunately for us, that is going to be time. We gave that game a real good run, but again, it comes down to the fine margins, and we couldn't handle keeping a clean sheet while we failed to score. But I don't want to be too down on that performance. We actually outperformed them in terms of expected goals and had the majority of possession. I don't think that was as bad as the result would indicate. I still think we're seeing signs of progress. And as is expected with this team, I think it's going to take seasons, not just weeks or months, to really figure out who our best players are and also get a good pipeline of academy players and signings coming in. Speaking of which, I think it's time to quickly take a look at our youth squad and what's going on over there. Now, we have a starting roster of a handful of solid players already, but again, we're a new club, and this is just kind of our first crop of players. We'll be developing the academy as we go and also getting to know some of these players. I think the clear standout here so far is this kid, Cedric Makoko. He's 16 years of age, but look at that, potential in the 80s, could be really solid, easily the best player in our academy. And we're going to be keeping a close eye on how these youth tournaments are going, because ultimately, a lot of these players are going to be the ones to make a step up into the first team, as that's kind of one of the main goals of Union Leipzig, is to develop young German talent. And I think it's pretty clear, basically all of the talent we have right now in the Youth Academy are young strikers. We have an abundance of talented strikers coming through the Academy, and that's going to be our strong suit to kind of build around. And again, particularly this kid Makoko, he looks to be a really solid player. He's making all the right runs, he seems to have an instinctual finish to him, and generally is just good on the ball as well. I don't think he's that far from our first team even, But one thing is absolutely clear, we're not gonna throw a promising youth kid into a team that's flailing as much as we are right now. I think it's better for him to keep developing down there, and then once things get stable, I think we can start to promote players, or if we have a total need for it. But again, I think the signs are all there. Moukoko is incredibly promising at the youth level at the very least, and I think he is gonna prove to be a top player. So actually, speaking of which, I mentioned at the beginning of this series, I'm gonna be giving real face mods to every player that features in our team, and I think Moukoko's so good I already went ahead and gave him one, but any youth players that we promote and actually start featuring in the team will also get face mods to match kind of how they already start looking. So again, just to keep the realism alive, you'll be seeing that too. But right now, it's back to the action, and Union Leipzig are not having an easy start to life here, so I think it's still all hands on deck. As we get back to league action, we need to start getting better results. And listen, I know we haven't been winning games nearly enough or getting enough points, but I've seen clear progression in the way we're playing at least. I think defense still really needs sorting out, but in terms of what we do with the ball, I think we're as good as any other team in the league right now in terms of possession and creating opportunities. I think we also need a little help being more clinical with those, but I feel like that'll come with time. Again, these passes just look beautiful, the way we have the build-up play going, and here goes Bergman again. Can't quite get the opportunity through, but look at that, patience and possession, not forcing things when they don't need to be, and we're doing a really good job moving the ball around, and here we go again. Well, one thing's for sure, Bergman's at least getting in the right positions, but he looks to be injured as he stays on the ground. That could be a big problem. Now, we started the season with Nico Fofana up top. I've been preferring Bergman just because he should be a better finisher, but it's not exactly like he's had that many goals, so maybe a switch in striker won't be the worst thing in the world. But we have bigger problems. Here's a ball to the back post, finds its way to the back of the net, and suddenly Union Leipzig are in a losing position in a game yet again. And it's a very familiar story. The minute we concede, things really start to slip against us as the opposition are basically walking their way through our back line. It seems like we're just not able to cover all the chances, and we get lucky there as the shot's blasted way wide. And it seems like things just kind of need to get tweaked at least one end of the pitch. If we were scoring more, these goals wouldn't be as big of a deal, and same goes for the clean sheets and lack of scoring, but Emeka Obi blasts one so far over the bar. Again, that's basically a one-on-one with the keeper. That's really poor. We go into halftime chasing a goal, and at this point, I don't know, something still needs to change, and I'm trying to figure out what's best for this team, but at least one change we have to make is striker. Bergman's still injured. I'm putting Fofana up top, and I'm also putting a right midfielder, Stein, in place of Obi. And surprisingly enough, those two changes are enough to make a huge difference. Fofana slides through Stein, who has a chance, but the substitute doesn't do any better. On the bright side, that is what Fofana can do really well with link-up play. But Union are left grasping at anything to try to change the tides of this game. Thankfully, it could be even worse, but our goalkeeper Kraus comes up with an enormous save. And not just once, but multiple times here at the end of the game to at least keep it within a goal. And honestly, this heroic string of saves makes it pretty much a miracle that we kept the game even within one goal. We should definitely be down by several at this point. And unfortunately, it's yet another loss for Union Leipzig, and a slightly flattering one at that. It could have easily been worse. We still have some big things to figure out in this team. But in the meantime, there's not that much we can change, so we're getting straight into the next game. Let's see if this will be any better. Now, thankfully, Bergman's injury was only keeping him out for a few days, so he's back in the starting 11 for this one, and hopefully he can start to convert more frequently. Now, he definitely has an eye for goal, as we see there with a good chance, but hasn't quite come off for him just yet. And I think we're well aware the ongoing storyline is going to be our defense this season as we try to keep the ball out of the back of our net. Kraus does a great job with a big save there. And honestly, if it wasn't for our goalkeeper, I think things could look even worse this season. He's been a rare bright spot amidst what's been a really, really poor defensive record this season. But so far, it's been an absolutely thrilling game. End-to-end stuff and a lot of chances, but no goals just yet as Simon Wolf sends one well wide of the goal. It seems like it's going to be a matter of whoever breaks the deadlock might get all the momentum, and there might be a chance on here as Lucas Schultz looks to close down. It's a great chance again, saved by the goalkeeper. And now with time winding down in the first half, we have an extended spell of possession here in the enemy third. Soko looks to have a go from distance, It's deflected, but we retain possession really well. Wolf looking to play it in, and again, Soko making a good run. Can he get the final ball? Bergman with the chance, it's saved again. And Union Leipzig just cannot seem to finish in front of goal. Another good chance gone missing, and somehow the game remains scoreless. I mean, it seems unbelievable the amount of chances both teams have created and still no goals. I feel like there's no way this game ends scoreless. Hopefully that doesn't come back to bite me talking about that as the opposition is through on our goal. Great save from the keeper again. And now it's our turn as we take the ball forward. Bergman with his back to goal. Wolf playing through Kruger, who charges down the field. What a great box-to-box midfielder he's been for us, and Obi deflected. Well, still no goals in this game. 20 minutes left, and both teams really giving it our all here. And now we might be on the break as Soko wins the ball back. Can he pick out the right pass ahead of him? It's Bouchard coming forward. Now Kruger up forward to Obi. He's got space ahead of him. Bergman making the run, but the pass is just at the defender. That was so close, but Obi couldn't get the pass off. And still, neither team able to score just yet. Bouchard looking to close down in midfield. His man blows right by him though, and the ball into the box. This time, there's nothing Kraus can do about that. And unfortunately, we concede a goal with only 15 minutes left. It's not looking that good for Union Leipzig now. At this point, I mean, it's clear we're going to be battling relegation this season, but if results don't pick up soon, I think we could be looking to get our very first manager sacked already. Or at least maybe some serious investigations by the club into what's going on. However, we still have a game right in front of us. Let's see if we can't at least find a way back into this as Simon Wolf plays it through. Soko with the chance. Obi in front of goal! And we've just pulled one back. 10 minutes still left. And suddenly, I may have been speaking too soon about the future. Union Leipzig look to at least pull a point from this game, if not carry that momentum forward. It's a great run from Soko, who's been one of our better players. And is this the sign that Obi is finally going to start stepping up in this team? He's looked bright, but all that's been missing is the final ball, and he just scored a goal. And now there's a ton of enthusiasm about our play as we're bombing forwards. Wolf plays it through for Soko, takes too big of a touch though, and he just gives it away. That's definitely going to be a card if it's called back. Only 3 minutes left in the game though, and we might have to be careful here as no one's closing down in midfield. We got to be careful to close this chance down. Only a couple seconds remaining in the game at this point. Ball played through into the box, and it's another goal. Union Leipzig have just blown another very important game for us. That point would have been massive, and unfortunately, it is another confirmed loss for Union Leipzig. What a terrible start to life it's been. Well, after a disastrous start to the season, the owner has finally stepped up and he's got big news. After months of searching, he's officially hired us a director of football and, more importantly right now, a tactical analyst who's going to be able to work closely with us to give us some underlying insights on the team and help us figure out what's working or not working. Now, what we're worried about realistically right now is getting sacked based on how bad results have been, but thankfully, this new analyst is actually pretty supportive of the way things are going. Now, taking a look at the underlying statistics of the season so far, he's able to show that our expected goals over time are going up as well as our expected goals against are going down. Now, that hasn't translated into results just yet, but our tactical analyst, Thomas Wagner, is definitely supportive of the work that we've been doing here and urges the owner to give us more time. So we definitely need to start getting more results, but we're given a bit of a breather here as the pressure's taken off and everybody is bought in on the system we're using here. Now, Wagner also does some interesting analysis on who have been the best players in our team this season, and that should help us learn who to build around. And the number one player, surprisingly, has been our central midfielder, Kruger. He's not the highest rated in the team, and he actually hasn't even stood out that much in games, but the work he's doing as our midfield engine has been invaluable, and he's statistically been the highest rated player in our team in terms of average match performance. So he's gonna be staying, as well as two players who have stood out a bit. Schultz as our center back has been the reason we're able to play such good possession football and is obviously a player to build around, as well as our striker Bergman, who, despite not finishing that many goals, has been one of the brighter spots of our attack. So I think those three players are shoo-ins. The rest of the team still needs some work, but I think those are some good insights, and it gives us some faith going forward to know that we do have the backing of our new tactical analyst and the owner as we're still looking to get better results. We're back to the action soon, next episode. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.